Hello, welcome to RBA News Center. I am your host, Tampa RBA. Today we will be looking at the Season 3 recap. So we're going to start off with the relegation zone. There were 4 teams that were relegated this season. We had Blitz with -8 points, which, oh well, must have lost his first game. Then we had Tide, who got 0 points. I don't know if he just failed to submit his scores. Same with Texas Stars. Did he fail to submit his scores? I don't know. I can't even say that. Rothbardians failed to submit his scores, I guess. Same with Bruisers and Black Star. I guess they didn't have enough to stay in the league. Sockeyes stayed in the league, and the Red Jackets stayed in the league. So that's how we have the relegation zone. We just want to keep people in our league, and if you don't turn in your scores, you can't really stay in the league. Only 2 people, if we look back on this, actually are still in the league that haven't turned in their scores. We have Tide and the Rothbardians that are still in the league. The Rothbardians have actually submitted their scores for weeks 1 to 6 for the next season already. However, Tide, it doesn't look well for them. Blitz is actually still in the Premier League because of how things stacked up, but good for them. Hopefully they have a better season this season. Let's go to the winners. In 8th place, we had Alcoholic Pandas with 0 points, assuming that they did not make the playoffs in their own game or they failed to submit their scores, which is sad because if you have a chance to win the actual Alliance Bowl, you should at least try. Just my opinion. We also have the Riders with 87 points in 7th place. Good job to them. Bull Sharks with 89. We had the Rams with 95. And that wraps up the bottom 4. Then breaking 100 points with 120 points is Gibbons. Great job to them. Great job. Proud of them. Hopefully they can get another round at this and win the Alliance Bowl next year. Or next season. Then we have Bandkits. I'm a Bandkit myself. So hopefully they can win next season. Then we have the Ents with getting runner-up. So close. Just 12 points away from that number 1 position. But in number 1 we have SPQR, my bad, with 166 points. Great job to them. We always love to see people winning. And we have our 3rd champion in 3 seasons. Great job to SPQR. And let's see if he has a good season next season. That wraps up our Season 3 for the Premier League. That's all I have for this round of RBA News Center. However, we still have another thing to go over. We have the All-Alliance teams we can look at. So let's start off with the 3rd team All-Alliance. Now, normally I would have a slideshow and I would try to show you, but I didn't really have enough time, and this is the first episode of RBA Alliance News Center. So, 3rd team All-Alliance QB is Cassius Ware for Gibbons with 8,103 passing yards. That's insane. I don't know how many actual people can actually get that many yards in this game. I know I can't. We have 2 running backs in the 3rd team All-Alliance. We have Nazar Lenore for the Warhammers, getting 1,617 receiving yards. We have G. Emerson with the British Lions as well, with 1,594 receiving yards. Great job. With our wide receivers, our number 3 wide receiver, Saquon Schnell, for the Fighting Beavers, with 4,538 receiving yards. I would have loved to see that season with him. It's great getting that many yards. Then we have Kyron Riley for the Kangaroos. And we have Prince Ward for Freak Squad, wrapping up our third team All-Alliance wide receivers. We have 2 tight ends. We have Auden Knox for the Reindeers with not applicable. I guess whoever did this did not have. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. And we have Gary Strand for the Force with 826 receiving yards. I guess not a lot of people put in tight ends. Or some people may not have tight ends on their team, because a lot of people like those wide receivers and running backs. Plus, the defense is really where it's at in this game. We have 3 defensive linemen. We have, 4. We have Kamel Enunwa with the Bull Sharks, getting 254 tackles and a sack. We have Roger Rocha with the Arizona Vipers. Kind of sounds like Tampa Vipers. I guess that's where you got his inspiration for a team name, with 238 tackles and a sack. And we have Virgil Russia with Devil's Rejects with 174 tackles and 2 sacks. Great job to them. Now let's go to our linebackers. We have Jace Jansen. Might be a girl in the league, who knows? With MGA Bobcats. 4 games, 41 tackles. Great job to him. We have Pierre Lambeau with SD Marshalls. San Diego, I'm assuming, with 1 interception and 2 sacks. Yeah. Linebacker with an interception. Pretty good. We have Leon Gunter with the Krakow Kings with 106 tackles and 4 sacks. Great job to them. We have 4 DBs on this list. We have Tariq Oliver with Force with 97 tackles and 2 interceptions. Insane. We have RB Strong with the Wichita Riders with 147 tackles and 2 interceptions. Insane. This is just 13. We have Carlos McKeever with Tampa with 122 tackles and 2 interceptions. We have Cole Quinn with the Kangaroos with 195 tackles and 1 interception. Insane. If I had the pictures for this, I could go into more detail. And then we have 1 kicker, Leo Holman with Stormin' Mormons, 77% rate, and 42 yards is his longest. That's great. In this league, most people don't want to kick though, and with 77, that means he had a lot of kicks, and you don't want that. That was our third team All-Alliance. With those stats, who knows what the second and first team have. So, let's go to that. Starting with our QB, we have Tory Luck. Almost like Andrew Luck, but can't really use actual names unless you change the name. With SPQR, the season champion, with 7,990 passing yards. With our running backs, we have Elmer Moran with 1,886 receiving yards, and Darrell Big L with Blaze with 2,157 receiving yards. We have 3 receivers on this list. Juwan Reeder with 4,987 receiving yards. Cassis, I can't say that last name, with the Chicago Rams, 5,389 receiving yards. Oaken Shield with the Marching Ants, 6,032 receiving yards. Insane. Some QBs don't even have that many yards in this league. I can tell you that right now. We have 2 tight ends on this list. Hamp Wentz for Tampa with 1,057 receiving yards. We have Joe Brooks with Angel Grove Bolts with 1,147 receiving yards. This is a stacked team. I would love to have this team on my game. Who knows, they might even have even more if they were with us. Tahoe Ragdown with New York Pickles. That's a funny name. I'd like a pickle from New York. Just saying. It means I'm in New York. With 129 tackles and 3 sacks. We have Abri Kaya with MGA Bobcats. 158 tackles and 3 sacks. If I had 3 sacks, I'd be pretty good. We have Bunchy Higgins with Stan Lees with 128 tackles and 4 sacks. So far, the most sacks we've seen. We have Jordan Tyner, Storm and Mormons, with 183 tackles and 3 sacks. Now let's move on to our linebackers. Hamp Abushi. We have 2 Hamps on this team. For PA Liberty, with 3 interceptions and a sack. William Moses with SBQR, the season champions, with 2 interceptions and a sack. And Spaghetti, almost like spaghetti, with the Tyrants with 2 interceptions and a sack. And we have our 4 DBs. Cordy Addison with the Warhammers, 168 tackles and 2 interceptions. Try Whitten with the Gladiators, 162 tackles and 2 interceptions. We also have Digot Koyak with the Devil's Reject, 181 tackles and 2 interceptions. And Willie Roberts with Pensacola Wave, 190 tackles and 2 interceptions. We have Tariq McCoy, the kicker, with the Angel Grove Bolts, 83% with a 57-yard longest. That's insane. Who would like that team? I would. I'd pretty much guaranteed the Alliance Bowl if I had that team. Or there's going to be one more team that's better, and that is the first team All-Alliance. The one everybody wants to have. Everybody wishes they had. However, nobody would probably have the cap space for it, even though the cap space is now $200 million. We'll go into some of those details later. First team All-Alliance, starting with the QB, Deshaun Dahl with the CHI Rams, 8,688 passing yards. I have nothing to say. That's just awesome. We have Bradley Rogers with the New York Pickles with 2,205 receiving yards. Derek Waddle with the Sockeyes with 2,315 receiving yards. With wide receivers, we have Dalton Spencer with Stan Lees with 6,216 receiving yards. J.K. Dogby with the Wichita Whiters with 6,967 receiving yards. 2 more receiving yards, and it has a pretty interesting number. Then Calvin LaFisca with SPQR, the season champions, with 7,421 receiving yards. We have 2 tight ends, Sean Flacco with the Gladiators, 1,425 receiving yards. Awesome. Just awesome. Chandler Bing with Milwaukee Blitz, 1,613 receiving yards. Insane, especially for a tight end. I think he has the ability to go up against the greats. We have 4 DLs on this list, just like all the others. Darren Khalil with SPQR, the season champion, 188 tackles and 3 sacks. Garrett Gold with the Red Comets, 241 tackles and 3 sacks. With the most sacks was coming in at 6 and having 158 tackles is Vic Disgrell with the Fighting Beavers. Then we have the Dwarf with the Marching Ends coming up as the best DL in the league for the Fighting Beavers. My bad. The Marching Ends with 225 tackles and 4 sacks. Then for our LBs, we have Cody Alonso with the Gladiators, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks. Ella Whitner with the Gibbons, with 1 interception and 3 sacks. Lionel Blunt with the Isotopes, with 1 interception and 4 sacks. Then we have Natrell Coughlin with Chuckanut with 209 tackles and 2 interceptions. Bobby Perry with the Kangaroos with 171 tackles and 3 interceptions. Pipin took the second with the Marching Ents, 166 tackles and 3 interceptions. And finally, DeMonte Whitten with the British Lions, 142 tackles and 4 interceptions. For our kicker, Casper White for the Red Comets, 68%, with the 62 longest. Just awesome. That completes our All Alliance teams. We have had a great season in RBA for Season 3. We have a couple changes for next season, and that is in our Discord in the Announcements tab, or you can go to rballiance.net. We are excited for this next season. And who knows what next seasons have to come. We might get some merch. We might get some other things. Who knows? But always remember to act in a respectful manner on the Discord. That's it for the Season 3 recap of RBA News Center. I hope you enjoyed.